Hey, what's going on out there, everybody of stationeers of the YouTubes? We are in the technology suite of Jeep, aka my mother-in-law's room, but I've got some exciting stuff to show you guys. So I did some work last night, and I've been looking at automated furnaces and everything else. And the trouble I ran into was pretty much, depending on what temperature these gases, your H2 and your O2, depending on what temperature these come in at, you're going to get off mixes. So I was using, originally what I was doing was I was using a mix valve, and I would set it to the that 2-to-1 ratio, so 66 to 33, and the mix I was getting was actually like, it was like 75 to 25. It wasn't there, and it had to do with temperature. So what I actually did was figured out, we need to calculate the number of moles specifically in something. There is no way to actually read this out of these pipe analyzers right now. I can see, I can see everything, and let me actually open this up. We're going to come back in a second, but I can see moles right here, and the only reason that's reading oxygen right now is because of, turn this on. Let me reset this real quick. Guys, this is going to take 2 seconds, and, I'm going to fast forward once all this gets done. You can see that, I'm basically just dumping the mix right now. That's all I'm doing. The other thing, and we are going to smelt invar today, which for me has been the hardest thing to do. Right now I'm just dumping this mix, all right? So far this has worked every single time. I do have iron and nickel in here, and what we're going to do is once I've got the mix flushed, we're going to leave this in. This should read 0, okay? On kPa and temperature. If you've got any type of temperature there, you still have trace amounts of mass in here. But what I've got is, so the system is set up so that I've got 7 pipes, which it's 100 liters per pipe. So I've got 7 pipes, that's 700 liters. I've got that on my H2 and my O2. I've got a set variable. All right, so, memory, I named it NV, but 700, okay? And what I've actually got is we are going, I'm doing the ideal gas law, so PV is equal to N, which N is the number of moles, and then R is a ideal gas constant, which I've got set right here, so that's 8.314, and then times temperature, so PV is equal to nRT, okay? So I'm reading in the pressure and the temperature of each one of these gases. I've got, these are identical, except I don't have the memory. The memory is being shared between the two because I've got the same amount of pipe volume. All right, so I'm reading in the pressure and temperature of each one. So I've got P, T, R is a gas constant, which is already, like I said, we've already got that done. I can figure out the molar mass without actually, reading anything. So we're doing the math, and that's what all this is going to prove. Guys, once I get the system flushed, we are going to come back and we are going to show you how this works. All right, bear with me. We will be right back. All right, guys, we are back, and just wanted to show you. So you can see right now that is 0 and 0. That's flush. I've got my valves turned off. So what I want to do, and I've got, and I've been using the STATIONEERS cheat sheet to kind of guide me on this. So right now, like I said, N is the number of moles, and depending on temperature, the pressure is going to change. So I need to drive the pressure independently based on temperature, but I need to make sure that I've got a specific number of moles. So I've got the memory of H2 number of moles that I want, 65, and the number of moles O2, which is going to be 46. Okay. This is doing the calculation, and then I've actually got 2 more math units down here, and we're doing this in reverse to figure out pressure. All right, so this up here is figuring out the number of moles that's inside that pipe, okay? This right here is using the number of moles over here that I specify to drive the pressure. So when I turn this on, and I have not automated this is more proof of concept than anything else. So, like I said, for H2, we said that we want 65 moles, all right? So what I'm going to do, and like I said, I've got to automate this. For right now, what I do to kickstart the system is basically turn it on. You're going to see it. All right, so now you see it adjust. I'm driving 169 kPa. So what that's going to do, and you know, the only bad part about the system right now is it is slow. It takes a while, but you can see that I'm coming in. You know, that's 219K, which zero is 273. So I'm negative. I mean, this is some cold gas. All right. I don't have to worry with this. You know, the beautiful part is I don't have to worry about temperature. We are doing the number of moles specifically, so everything should work out. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with oxygen. Like I said, kickstart the system so far. We're just going to turn this on. You'll see it take 2 seconds. Once it gets the first gas in, analyze says I need 139 kPa. All right. So you can see that slowly creeping up. I am still busy flushing the rest of the system, which that's at 0 now. I can turn this off, which I should be able to turn that off as well. You can see 0. So I still have the iron. And the only reason I'm doing this ahead of time, I'm going ahead and putting the materials in and flushing the system. All right. And that's really to help kind of drive the, drive this to a point where I don't have to add in anything extra. As soon as you start adding stuff in, not only do you have to wait for it to count the material, you have to, it's going to add pressure, which I don't want. I want a pure system. So bear with me when I drink some water. All right. So you can see I've got a pure system. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And what I'm going to do, so for invar, what I found is 290 is where I need to kind of keep this. So if we get anything more than 290, I need to flush it out. Now you are going to see some weird numbers pop out of this. Okay, it's the molar mass. Even though I've got all these moles over here, because of the volume, which the volume of this is 1,000 liters. And you've got to add 2 extra pipes, so technically 1,200 liters. I'm only bringing in 700. So the number of moles I get here are going to be way different from what I see here. And, this was the problem that I was running into when I was using a cheat sheet and said that, I needed 64 of this and everything else. I was trying to dump this in my furnace and I was getting, these crazy numbers. So you can see that, that's 160. All right, there's my 65 moles exactly. So it's 64.99895. So it should be up to 65 here in a second. And same thing here. So this one's a little bit slower. Yeah, 137. We're just waiting on that. I think I'm just low on O2, so that's going to take a second to drive up. But once we do, what we're going to do is take these 2 gases, and instead of combining and padding with like nitrogen or something that I talked to a while last night about Sadamo. Or talked to Sadamo for a good bit, and shout out to him. He's my boy. Thank you for all your help last night. He was using nitrogen to kind of pad the mix and get. He was using about 4 mole of nitrogen. So kind of an interesting take. But I think if everything works out, we should be good to go with this. So I'm almost there. You can see, and what eventually is going to happen is we're going to have switches, and these memories, which is driving all of this, these are going to change depending on what I'm trying to smelt. So what I'm planning on is some type of pull lever. You're going to pull it down and hit a button, all right, and say, hey, arm the system, and then hit a button on what type of mix and everything else that you want. And to kind of counteract how slow the system is, I'm planning on putting 3 different pipes of different mixes, preloaded and ready. That way we're not having to wait for all this system to fill. But we've got a long way to go, and that's probably not going to be ready for at least another week at my current rate. So anyways, what I'm planning, you're going to have a pull lever. You're going to pull it down and hit a button for a certain gas or gas mixture that we know works. All right. So once you hit this, that will adjust these 2 right here, which drives the rest of this, which changes this. So 137, you can see here, and look at that. So we've got a perfect 46 mole mix. I've got my 65 down here. So what I'm going to do is turn this off. That way I'm not introducing any extra mole into this. And, you know, like I said, so I'm not using a gas mixer whatsoever here. And I want you guys to watch. We should get a 2-to-1 ratio. So as I open everything up, I want you guys to watch this ratio pop out without doing anything, any type of gas mixing, which in my experience has been unreliable. And now that I think about it, we messed with the ratio last night trying to get this, but I can do exact ratios, 2-to-1, whatever the case is. If I did, I'll do a follow-up video right after I fire this. I just want to show you guys that it works. You have to forgive me. I'm dealing with a cold, so. But you can see right now I've still got a. I mean, that's 60% and 40%. So, I mean, I've still got a very clean mix. And like I said, because this whole system is temperature dependent, I don't have to pre-cool my gases. I don't have to waste energy. I thought about putting AC units down here and basically trying to cycle, but you know that's even gonna you know cause this to be even slower. So one thing I do want to do is. We're just waiting for the rest of these gases to exit out, which we're talking, you know, moles, you know, fractions of a mole right now. So the beautiful part is you will see this, once everything exits, you'll see these two dials rotate back and reset to 0. Once I get this automated, you know, literally all this will be done. I'm planning on putting it so that all right, so there's the top one done, that one's done. Both of those are set to 0. That means everything's exited. I can turn all this off. Like I said, you can see everything. The framework's in place. I am ready to do it and get everything automated. But I'm planning 3 different mixes you know, have a digital pipe valve that's going to allow me to kind of preload and pre-pack mixes. That way I'm not waiting on all this system to really really kind of wait and load. So what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and start dumping the mix. Now, before I do this, let's go ahead and get our tablet ready. I want to show you coming in what we're dealing with. Change the field of view real quick. So you can see my mix is perfect. And if this fails, I've been messing with the volume. So right now I've got this set to 700. Since that's 1200, what I actually did was 1200 minus 700. I've been using 500, and I had really good results with 500 last night. I'm still messing around with the mole ratios. So there's a couple different things going on. So you can see right now that I'm only going to pack this with you know, everything in there. I mean, total, we're talking, I mean, that's going to be about 178. But I've got a decent amount of moles in there. Now, if this fails here in a second, what I will do is kind of reset this, and we are going to, I'm going to adjust this back to the 500 number, which I know works. But I just want to prove to you guys that, you know, we can do it and that the system works. I'm not using any type of mixers or anything like that. These are coming in. You can see right now, these are pure H2 and O2 lines. These are coming from my mixers upstairs. And those numbers look low because I've got a lot of pipes. There's a lot of spaghetti. You know, guys, definitely make sure, I logicked all this out on Twitch last night. You can find me on Twitch at the name above, JeepGuy_gaming, spelled exactly like that. I go by J33P most of the time, but Jeep Guy Gaming is where you want to find me at. So we're just going to wait for that to read 0. And fingers crossed this does not utterly fail. All right, so I can turn this off now. And I can turn this off now. So what I'm reading is, you can see now, if you actually look, I've got 38 mole and 54 mole, which is almost dead on from what I had in there. Now it's going, because of the extra volume, it's going to change a little bit. Here it reads a little bit off. All right, but so total I've got I mean, that's 172 kPa, negative 50. Let's go ahead and fire this. So my pressure is not there. I need to go ahead and go back to the 500 liters. That's definitely what's going on. So what I'm going to do, guys, is actually reload the system. I'll show you the mix coming back in here in a second, and we will go from there. All right, sit tight. All right, stationeers, we are back. And so even though you see 46 and 65 here, I have adjusted the volume, my constant volume, to 500. And you can see that, it adjusted my kPa, my pressure coming in. So I've got 90 moles sitting right there, almost 91, and 64, depending on how you want to round, that's almost like 64 and a half, all right? So everything is set automatically, and I want you guys to watch this mix as we're coming in. So it should be almost the same mix as what we had before. So we're going to open everything up real quick, and all I'm doing is basically allowing this mix to come into this preload pipe, so to speak. So it's exiting this pipe. These are going to be my main mix tubes. This will stay when I redo the system. I may adjust the volume a little bit, but for the most part, this is going to stay, and then we're going to branch off and do probably 3 different pipes. And I want to get it automated, so if it notices one of the mixes is low or whatever the case is, it will go ahead and kind of kick itself up and start pressurizing the right way and get a number of moles and everything else that I need. So that is the future plan and where we're going. Like I said, it is not going to be ready for a while. I've got too much going on with the other base, or the rest of the base. If you guys follow me on Twitch, up top, like I said, you can watch me build out a lot of this stuff. We logic almost everything on stream. This took me a good couple hours last night to get all this worked out. A lot of Excel spreadsheets that, I posted everything as we were working. You guys can follow along with me, ask questions, whatever you guys want to do. So I'm hoping to keep this video relatively short. You'll have to forgive me for quality, mic and everything. I am a very small streamer. I just enjoy gaming. So what I'm waiting for right now is for this to hit 0, meaning that I've gotten every single mole out of here. You can see that I've got my iron and nickel already back in. Everything's at 0 kPa. You can check here. So we've got nothing in. All right. So the only thing I've really adjusted right now is I've turned this down to 500. That was at 7 and 5. What we are, and I will go through this real quick while we're waiting. I'm reading temperature and pressure off each one of these pipes, the digital analyzer. Okay. So once I bring that in, the first one is P times V, all right? So pressure times volume. So the pressure of the pipe and the set volume here, so MV, and we are multiplying those two. The next one is going to be R times T, and this is to literally, I was using this to calculate the number of moles, which to get moles, it's PV over RT. So I've got my PV right there. This is my RT, okay? That's going to equal my N. So this is actually unnecessary, and so is this. But in order to calculate N, I didn't know if I was going to need this later, so I left it there. This is the main bulk of what we're doing. So this is nRT, so the number of moles, which is that logic chip right here, not this. So that logic chip right there. So PRT, gas constant, we got right there, and then temperature, up at the top, and everything's saying 0 because that's empty, which is what we want. And then we need to divide by volume. So take this figure, divide it by V, which is that number right there, and that's going to give me my pressure. Okay, so I'm using this to write to that pressure regulator. All right, so now that, like I said, these are both going to read 0, so I can actually turn these pipe valves off and this off. So if you look at that. There's almost the exact same mix that we had before, but I've increased the number of moles. All right. You can see pressure is a little bit greater. I think before it was like 136. So what we're going to do is actually load this mix into into here, make sure we've got all this turned off. And like I said, I've got to automate all this so that you hit a button, and I want to make this stupid simple. We are going to be doing invar today because I feel that that's the hardest gas to hit. Once we nail this, and you know, the big thing I want to deliver is repeatable results every single time. And with the temperature variations, no matter, you know, if you're playing on Mars, the moon, whatever the case is, my gases are all over the place. Now, it's very important that all of this exits. I really need a back pressure regulator that will, you know, help me kind of really flush the system. So we will do some type of kind of branch where I've got a volume pump and a back pressure regulator that's really kind of feeding the system. But for right now, proof of concept, this is all I wanted. All right. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask me in the comments. I might not get back right away. Probably the best way to catch me is on Discord, which I will put a link below in the video description to our Discord, our gaming forums, my Reddit, everything that we really do. Okay, so you know, I want to make sure you guys have access. Now, please don't get offended if I don't answer right away. I am a student, so sometimes I've got homework, I've got something going on. I went back to school late in life, so luckily I've got an amazing support system with my wife. All right, so if we pull out our tablet, I want to really kind of show this to you guys. You can see that you know, I'm really close to these numbers that I programmed in over here. I'm a little on the high side, but if I can get this to work, so be it. And more importantly, you know, when I put this at 700, I was getting the exact number of moles every single time up here. So I know that I have controllable results. So we are just waiting. I mean, I've got trace amounts of moles left. So as soon as that reads 0, we should be good to go. We will fire this, hopefully get our invar, and we will move on. If I do fail, I promise you it does work. I got invar last night. I've got to get this set up so that, you know, if you have you go ahead and set your metal tolerances to, you know, 2,000 temperature, like invar is 1,200 to 2,000 temp, and then, you know, certain pressure between 6 and 7. You know, we'll have compare units saying that, you know, hey, this is the metal, you know, have a couple memories, compare as soon as it hits everything, hit activate. So it should do everything for us. All right, so now I do have that 0, which means I can turn this off right here. And fingers crossed, we've got it. And I was just shy on the pressure. I mean, I kid you not. Had that pressure been about 7,000, because the temperature died off so quick, or didn't die off quick enough, that's what caused that. So, anyways, guys, we are there. I just wanted to kind of show this as more of a proof of concept. Gosh, that bothers me. And how I'm going to fix this right now is we are going to go for one more run. I'm actually going to feed it just a little bit more oxygen. Let's go up to about 50. Let's go ahead and reload the system. So guys, I am going to do one more run. Take that up to 100. You can see it regulating itself as soon as I turn this on, of course. Yeah, 208, 233. So guys, I'm going to let this burn down one more time, and fingers crossed we are going to get everything working, okay? All right, guys, we are back, hopefully for the last time. I think I did make some adjustments. So like I said, I'm running with the 500 volume mark. I've adjusted the O2. I've upped that just a hair to hopefully give me some more, some more pressure. And I've actually reduced the heat by just a couple moles. So I've gone ahead and pre-mixed everything. We've got it sitting here. You can see what I'm starting with. And keep in mind that that pressure, because of the temperature, that pressure is going to be off because of the amount of pipes and everything. But you know, the key thing I want you guys to watch is the number of moles. So basically 70 moles of oxygen and 88 moles of volatiles, all right, your H2. So let's go ahead and pump this into the system. I've already got my nickel and iron. You can see 0 there. Make sure this is closed, and let's dump it in. So you can see all that rushing in. You know, and I am going to leave the failure in place and, you know, the couple attempts, but, you know, the big thing I want to show you guys is just repeatability, number one, because the number of moles are everything. Once you get something in place, regardless of what temperature your gases are in front of your base, once you get it set in and you've got a system that walks in and says, all right, exactly this many moles O2, this many H2, whatever the case is, it really, you know, gives you repeatability, all right? So we are just waiting for all this to dump in. Guys, I'm going to insert cut, make sure everything in, and right before I fire, I'll show you guys everything, the number of moles I've got in the system before we fire. Fingers crossed this works. If it doesn't, I egg on my face, but we are almost there. I just wanted to kind of get this up as proof of concept, so I will be right back, all right? All right, guys, so we are back just at the end of emptying the rest of this, so we're just waiting for the rest of this to go 0. Which should be any second now. Come on. And there it is. Turn this off. You can see right now I've got, if that wasn't in the way, 58 mole O2, 74 H2. And that was right there. I didn't hit it in time. I think if I had just a hair more on the H2 side or O2 to help increase pressure, it would work. Let's do this one more time, guys. I want to show you that this does work. Okay, so we are going to do this one more time. I'm going to increase my O2, and we will be back. All right. All right, guys. The important part, I'm gonna leave all this in as far as me failing. I'm gonna hopefully try to put some timestamps in there. But one thing I did want to show you is, you know, if we were trying to fine tune exact mixes, 2 to 1, whatever the case is, you know, I set this. I did set this back to 700 just to show you guys I can get an exact number of moles in here. So I've set my right now I've set my O2 to 42. And 86, so these two are cranking. You'll see it. It's wants 217, so it's got a little bit. This one wants 125, and it's at 80, so it's got a while. But I do have my next gas mix ready. It's pumping in the remaining amounts. Hopefully this gets it. And I just no. All right, yeah. Oh crap! I just opened that. I shouldn't have done that, but hopefully this still works. That might have been a mistake. I do want to show you guys that it does work. I did make invar last night. I've still got some tweaking going, but I wanted to get this up and kind of show you guys and hopefully give you some ideas as far as how you can implement this in your own base. I don't know why I did that. That was open. So we're just waiting for the remaining amount to kind of flush in there. All right, so I've got all this in. Everything is in the system right now, 237. Let's activate, see what we get. And so I am just a hair high on the, I mean, I'm just missing pressure by, I mean, you know, not much. I mean, we're talking a couple moles. Everything does work, guys. I will be getting, working on this on the stream later on today. What I did set up, like I said, I wanted to show you guys I can deliver an exact amount of moles depending on temperature. So 86 moles, what I've got H2 programmed to. And you can see right now that I'm sitting at 85.9. All right. 216 kPa. If you were trying to do this, depending on temperature, it would be all over the place trying to get gas mixes. With this right here, I can deliver molar mass. Like I said, I will try to get some worksheets up and figure out a way to easily show you guys how to replicate this. I appreciate you being here. Unfortunately, I did fail, but it's a positive failure because we are right there. I don't want to make this video any longer than what it already is. This is mainly just to show you guys, hey, this is how to do it, so to speak. So I appreciate everybody swinging in. Definitely keep in touch. Make sure you subscribe. I am a new streamer slash YouTuber, so make sure you guys give me feedback. All right. I appreciate all you guys being here, and definitely tune in.